Thank you for tuning to my channel. I am Valery Molone, personal development coach and motivational speaker. This is Ask Coach Molone question show, and I'll give you guys an answer. We get a lot of questions from all my social media. You wonderful people are asking me a lot of questions, and I pick the most asked question and I answer that. Today's question is about how to have an independent mindset. Now, for those of you who know me, I am obsessed with person development. I'm obsessed with human potential. So I always study and I always get the latest news about developing your mind, how to become successful, how to grow your mind, how to do things in your life to better your life. So that's what the whole show is about. And I wanted to answer this question because I believe in it so much. So with that being said, the question is how to have an independent mindset. Now, I'm going to give you guys a 3 strategy that you can apply in your life today to actually change your mindset. Now, independent mindset means that you are free. You are free, that you are on your own 2 feet and you can do things on your own when you're physically independent, emotionally independent, financially independent, and spiritually independent. So in order to accomplish all of that, you must have an independent mindset. And how can we develop independent mindset? And I'm not talking about actual physical of the mind, the function of physical of the mind, but it's about thoughts, it's about your belief, it's about yourself. So one of the questions that you should ask yourself, who are you? And I know majority of people talking about this and it seems like a very simple question, but the answer sometimes can be very, very hard. Why? Because we have 2 types of a personality. One of them is the persona that we have. We go out there, we put a persona, we are at work, we're around family and friend. We're so in conscious mind of ourselves to do things every single day. And the other part of you is the one that you're alone by yourself, looking at yourself, your likes, your dislike, how much you love yourself, what you don't like about yourself, what makes you happy, what leaves you vulnerable. And when you can answer that question, you will have independent mindset. So ask yourself, who are you? And then the other thing that you have to keep in mind, what type of environment are you living in? Who makes your decision? Is your decision coming from the environment that you're in, from the people that you're living with, the people around you that are influence you a lot? So those are the stuff that will make up your thoughts, and your thoughts make a decision, and your decision will show who you are. And it's very important to ask yourself these questions. The other thing that you have to do is that you have to spend a little time with yourself and know about your likes and dislikes. Again, this all goes together about the mindset. The mindset is all about you, yourself, and who truly you are. In order to have an independent mindset, you have to spend relentless amount of time with yourself and understand yourself and learn about yourself and be aware of yourself. Now, one of the things that I learned as a young kid, when I was young, my dad always used to watch boxing show. And I loved to watch boxing show with him. And he always picked the player that we all know, Muhammad Ali. And I always used to ask my dad, why do you always pick him? Why don't you pick another guy? Why don't you have another player? And my dad told me one thing, and he said that the reason I like Muhammad Ali because he always studies his opponent, the person that is going on the ring with him. And once he understands the strength of that person, the way he boxes, that's how he wins, because he studied the other player. So I took that and I said to myself, since when I was a child and I became obsessed with mindset and thoughts and belief and all that things. And I said to myself, why people don't study themselves? Why people don't learn about themselves? So it's very important in order for you to have an independent mindset. You have to study yourself every single day. You have to know who you are, because as we grow, our mentality change, our look change, our behavior changes. And in today's society, being so busy with everything else, we forget ourselves. We always put ourselves second and we put everybody else in front of us. So one of the things that you have to do is to ask yourself who you are truly in your core. Question number 2, you should ask yourself, who do you want it to be? And when I say who do you want it to be, majority of us have this idea in our head and we think about a lot of stuff. We think we want it to be successful. We want it to be healthy. We want it to be in a great relationship. We want it to be financially free. Why? Because it sounds so good in our head. But when it comes to taking action, it actually gets harder and harder to do it. So in order for you to learn that, in order for you to do that, you must have a clear vision of who you want it to be. Like to the detail of who you want it to be. If you wanted to achieve a goal, like if you wanted to be successful, whatever success means to you, then you need to have a detail on that. If you wanted to be in a great relationship, you need to write it down what that means to you, what good, great relationship looks like to you, not to other people around you, to you. If you wanted to have a great job and make a lot of money, you need to have a lot of detail on that. What is that great job means to you? And you'd be surprised how many people don't have a clear vision of who they want it to be. They do things because they kind of have to. They're kind of used to it. They got in their comfort zone. And they don't like doing it, but they just do it because they kind of have to. And they're putting their happiness and themselves and their independent mindset aside because they want to make money to pay the bills and just live an average life. In order for you to know who you want it to become, it's very important to take time to understand that what is there that you need to do. And you have to take an action toward that. Because like I said, having it in your head is almost like a dream. You think about it every single day, it comes, you get busy with your life, it goes away. You need to really sit down and write it down with the detail of what you want it to be, where you want it to go, what goal you want it to accomplish, and what action you need to take today, starting today, not tomorrow, in order to achieve that goal of yours and be the person that you want it to be. The other thing that is important about this, who you want it to be, is that who you're associating yourself with. I am very, very big example of that. Majority of my life that I made a lot of a stupid mistake because I surrounded myself with people that were not beneficial to my life. And I was doing things that just to fit in. My environment was really not that good. It was a toxic environment for me. So those people being around me affected my decision making, affected that who I was, and affected that who I wanted to be. Because I was always hanging out around them, and I always say, who you hang out with, that's who you become. So once you realize and once you wanted to have a independent mindset, you need to look around and see who's around you, who you're associating yourself with, who you're talking to, who is supporting you with your achieving your goal. Are they negative about it? Are they positive about it? Are they people that are jealous of you? These are the stuff you should really consider because it does affect your decision making when it comes to having independent mindset. Question number 3 that you should ask yourself in order to have an independent mindset is why do you want to become that person? Whatever person that you wanted to become, however mind that you wanted to have, you want to have an independent mind to be free emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. Why do you want to become that person? Now, this is one of my favorite things. People always say you have to know your why. Why they say that. And I practice that. The reason they're saying that when you have a why, when you have a strong, meaningful why that you wanted to become that person, it makes the process of taking action toward your goals so much easier because you remind yourself of that. So I'm going to give you guys an example of that. I smoke all my life. And when I wanted to quit smoking, I tried so many times. So many times I tried to quit. So many times I tried to quit. I couldn't do it because I didn't have a strong enough why. For smoker out there, you know what I mean? We always make excuse to smoke. So it's really hard to actually have a why to get out of there and say, this is why I'm doing it. So I didn't have a strong enough why, and I would keep falling back to smoking. And then one day I just sat down and I said to myself, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to smoke a cigarette? I know it's bad for me. I've been doing it for so long. I tried so many times and I failed over and over and over again. And I said to myself, I am not sitting down and having an actually strong enough why I'm doing it. And that time I sat down and I wrote it down and I went to my head. I said, because I don't want my kids to grow up without a mother. And that was enough why, strong enough why for me to quit smoking. So it's very important to have a strong why you're doing what you're doing, why you want to achieve this goal, why it's so important to you. Because once you write those details down, so every time when a time gets hard, when you wanted to give up, then you remind yourself. For example, if you want to lose weight, you have to, forget about the physical look of it. Just mentally, you have to prepare yourself, and you have to say to yourself, this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I don't want to get a diabetes. I'm doing it because I want to fit in my clothes. I'm doing it because I want to live a healthy lifestyle. I'm doing it because of my kids. I'm doing it simply because I don't like my look anymore. Whatever that why is to you, you need to write it down. The same thing if you want to improve your relationship. Why you want to improve your relationship? And you have to give it as much as detail as possible, and you have to make your why as strong as possible, because when you're doing that process, and we all fail sometime, not all the time, sometime, especially when you create a habit and you want to get rid of it, it's just very easy to go back to your comfort zone and do that over and over again. In order to get yourself out of that rabbit hole, you have to have a strong why and remind yourself. So every time when you go look at that why and you say, you know what? I sit down, I analyzed it, I really thought about this. This is why I'm doing it. So the more a stronger why you have, the easier it is for you to accomplish the goal that you're setting up in your life. That's why it's very important to know your why. And like I said, it's an easy thing to say, but when it comes to it, because that moment, that 5 minutes that you wanted to, you want to go to the gym, and you're stopping yourself, and you're like, I'd rather stay home than going to the gym. Remember your why. And every time when you have an argument with your partner and you're trying to break up the relationship or not being happy in the relationship, remind yourself of that and say, why am I doing this? Why do I have to stop fighting and actually make this work? And the same thing with your finance. If you're somebody that's spending a lot of money and shopping all the time and you wanted to stop yourself, you have to have a why, a strong why in order to stop yourself. So that's why it's very important. These are the 3 steps that you have to do in order to have an independent mindset. Ask yourself who you want it to be. Who are you? And why do you want to become this person? Why do you want to achieve this goal? Why you want to have this mindset of to be free and be yourself and love yourself and succeed for whatever decision that you're making? I thank you so much for listening. I hope this strategy worked for you guys. I love to hear from you guys. If you have any comment, please leave it below. Otherwise, follow me on my other social media. We put a lot of great stuff out there. Until next time, have a great day.